So I will continue, with post 111, and anytime that is around, he will also will be taking you some of the topics. Like last week when I joined the class, he was trying to tell us that the goal of science is to explain and to predict. And we talk about deductive nomological model, which we can use to explain our political what phenomena. It talks about explanandum and explanat. Explanandum means what to be what we explain, and explanat means what to be explained. And but before you can explain any political events or political behavior, I told you that you have to specify conditions under which the event occurs. And the behavioral revolution, came with some innovations that instead of focusing on political values that have to do with a just or good state, we need to talk about the behavior of those who occupy occupy those political institutions. And he made mention of the use of scientific methods to study of political behavior of individuals and group of individuals. And it talks about the effort made by the behavioralists to integrate the disciplines in social science into one, so that what we study, our method will be eclectic in nature, be scientific, and be holistic. And there are problems. That's where we will start today. That's the question that is posed. Is it possible, is it feasible to have a science of politics? There are so many reasons or arguments or criticisms leveled against, having a science of politics. And one of those reasons has to do with the complexity of political phenomena. Most of what we study in political science are too complex. What does that mean? That means it is very, very difficult for us to discover regularities, because majority of these political phenomena are too complex. When we say something is complex, what do we mean? That means there are too many variables and possible relationships between them to find any order. Let me give you an example. If you want to study why Nigerians, voted the way, they voted in 2019, how many variables do you want to consider? There are so many people, some that, voted because of ethnic, ethnicity, some voted on the basis of religion, some voted because of the money they collected, some voted because of personality of the candidate, some voted because of political party, some voted because of issues, some voted because of the manifesto, and so many, and so on and so forth. So how many of you do you want to connect together for you to explain why Nigerians voted the way they voted in 2019? So, and if you compare natural sciences, mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, and so on and so forth, with what, with social sciences, like political science, for example, now, you see that what they study in natural sciences, the substance of studies, is matter. And matter, as Professor Sager put it, they have no feeling, they are not rational. They cannot think, and that is why they are less complex, compared to human beings that their behavior are too regularities that we can use to explain and also predict. Their human indeterminacy. Human indeterminacy. is it possible to have a science of politics? The possibility or the feasibility to have a science of politics. That's what we are trying to talk about. And I've mentioned a point that because of the complexity of political phenomena, it may be too difficult, if not impossible, to discover regularities that we can use to explain and predict the behavior of political phenomena. And the second point that I'm making now is what we refer to as human indeterminacy. That is indeterminacy of human behavior. You can also talk about unpredictability of human behavior. Because human behavior is difficult to predict or to determine. Why? Professor Sagen was telling you that man is capable of telling lies. Man is capable of what? Pretending. Is capable of, showing feelings that is not what correct, or telling you what is false. And that is why scholars who argue against the feasibility or possibility of a science of politics argue that human beings are the least controllable, verifiable, law-obeying, and predictable of subjects. Some people at gunpoint, they can release their property. If they are not threatened by gun, they can fight the armed robber. That means the behavior will change. Let me give you an example now, and I want somebody to answer. Just raise up your hand. If you are given a questionnaire to fill, and they ask this question, are you a smoker? They want your answer yes or no. And if the same question is asked you before your parents, are you a smoker? What's going to be your response? Are your responses going to be the same? Let me give somebody. Just raise up your hand, okay? Onyejechi Francis. Unmute yourself.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Yeah. If somebody asks you, if you are, let's assume that you are a smoker, that are you a smoker when your parents are not there? And when your parents are there, will your answer be the same?
Sir, to be honest, when they even give me questionnaire, I used to lie in questionnaire. So I don't even used to say it. Because questionnaire used to take my time. Questionnaire used to finish my time. So I used to not say the truth.
It's because you have, because you have feeling, you have time. Does protons and neutrons, atoms, do they have a time?
I don't know. It's just that the thing used to be too long.
Okay, let me. Abayomi Oluwaseyi. Are you there? Abayomi Oluwaseyi. Okay, let me call. Morak in your presence.
Good morning, sir.
And good morning.
Good morning, sir. Yes, sincerely. If I was to answer a questionnaire that says, am I a smoker? If I smoke, sincerely, if I smoke,
let me give are you a prostitute? What would be your answer?
Okay.
Are you a prostitute?
God forbid. If
I'm not God forbid. What would be? Is it by using magic? God forbid.
Okay, sir.
What if they ask a prostitute? We didn't say they are prostitute.
Okay, sir.
That is what you are trying to. That's what you are trying to.
Okay, sir. I'll actually answer it correctly by saying yes, if I am. But the response I'm actually going to give in the questionnaire will be different from the answer I'm going to give.
If you have your parents, what are you going to tell them?
The answer I'm going to give my parents will be different. I'm going to put in a new behavior to them because I will not want a situation whereby they feel or think I'm into something. So because you said something about human behavior, that human behavior is difficult to predict, that means we show we show another side of A now, and we tend to show another side of B now. I might be nice to you now, does not mean I'll be nice to you all through. So
thank you very much. Okay. That is what I want you to get now. You know, behavior of political actors are mostly unpredictable. You know, another thing that has to do with this human indeterminacy is that you have freedom of will. You can say what you like. You can, decide not to talk. Even when they are asking you in court. If somebody is caught in the court, in the heart, somebody is caught, by the police, in the heart, and they try to prosecute the person. Before the law court, they will still give you benefit of the doubt. They will ask you, are you or not? And so many times you hear them, I'm not guilty. My Lord, I'm not guilty. Whereas they caught them in the heart. That's to tell you that, it is very difficult. Even when you are hungry, you pretend as if you are not hungry. You can tell like, oh, you are involved in so what event. Somebody, no. What do you mean by that? And when they tell you what they mean by that, you say, oh, I'm not involved. If it involves money, let me another example. In South Africa, when they were trying to, prevent this HIV/AIDS, they were telling people that have HIV to come, and report themselves, and they will give them $5,000. Even those that did not have HIV, they went out and said they have HIV, just to collect $5,000. If in Nigeria now they ask you to come and test for COVID-19, how many of you will go out? You say, I'm lie. I'm not the COVID-19. Whereas you are carrying. So that's what you are talking about. That's why Professor Sagai said the only predictable thing about human beings is that they are unpredictable, because they have the capacity to think, to lie, and to change. Another factor here has to do with the reaction problem. The reaction problem. Often, we argue that even if people are not completely indeterminate, they have another causality that makes it impossible, to systematically analyze and predict their political behavior. What is that causality? It's the reaction. When people are reacting to questions posed to them, when they are reacting, to certain work event, when they are reacting in a certain work situation. Let me give you an example. If you want to conduct a survey research now to find out who sold their votes and who bought votes during 2019 election, and they ask a question, you can have interview schedule, you can have a questionnaire to administer, and in your interview schedule, you put it there. Do you involve in vote buying in 2019 election? You all know what the answer be. What will the answer, the reaction will be, because humans, in survey research techniques, subject human beings to questions that will elicit responses, that will describe their opinions, attitudes, or general state of mind. And since the subject are aware of the fact that you are studying them, their response cannot be taken as valid, indicators of their opinions. If they are aware. For example, now, I come to your class, and I told you, Mr. Francis Chancellor has sent me to come and, observe the class and, put down the names of noisemakers. What will be your reaction? Your reaction will change. You will pretend. But if I just enter that, classroom without, announcing to you, some of you will be making noise, and you will not know that your name has been put down. So that's what we call reaction problem. The way people react to questions. It's only questions that have to do with their feelings, that have to do with their values. If you are asking, a typical Yoruba man, how many children do you have? Some of them may pretend. Even when we are doing the voter registration exercise, I was involved, and we asked some people, what is your age? Some pretend. Even somebody that we know is over 80 will tell you I'm 35, I'm 45. And this is what the reaction they put up, or their responses that we are going to put down. So how are you going to get valid judgment, or make valid judgment giving that kind of information that may